few weeks ago, I went to go visit my grandparents because my grandma was turning 87. I think 87 is the right number. And it was like I was looking at my phone and I don't remember what we were talking about, how we got into this conversation, where she was like, I really don't understand the internet. And I was like, oh, I was like, because we've talked about like Wi-Fi. My grandparents live in a place in Louisiana known as Cancer Alley, so there's higher rates of cancer. And so we're talking about how the chemicals from the plants, not only the chemicals from the plants, but also like we've never had so much radiation around us, like Wi-Fi, cell phone towers, etc. So I was like, oh my gosh, understand the internet so easy. I was like, radio waves, how you turn the knob and it gets to a specific frequency and it connects. I was like, these are invisible waves. I was like, that's just like what the Wi-Fi is, what the internet is. It's like we have a certain device and then it's connected over a larger web. And so, like, it's easy to understand that when you think about radios, because everybody's been knowing about a radio for so long. My grandma doesn't have a phone, so she doesn't know much about it. But it's just super cool that we have that. And I was telling her, I was like, I'm so thankful. A lot of older generations, like, y'all hate on the technology age, but I can look up a college lecture on YouTube for free, and any book, on the internet, there's so much information. It's like I'm so thankful to have the world of knowledge at the tip of my fingertips, because back in the day, you'd have to go to a college to get that kind of knowledge. And, otherwise, like, how would you know about any of this stuff? You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so I'm so thankful and so grateful. And I just wanted to share that because, man, I just love my grandparents. And I'm picking a few cards from this is my deck of love letters that I've written to myself. I just always write things, like things will be in my head. I'm trying to remember what was in my head today, because I did want to mention it. Maybe it'll come back to me. So, pick some cards. And in the Scene in Benjamin Button, if this wouldn't happen, this wouldn't happen. And if this wouldn't happen, this wouldn't happen. And I'm reading this book called Something Deeply Hidden by Sean Carroll. It's a physics book, and he's going over the interpretations of physics for what we know, like the nature of reality. And then they have this one called Many Worlds, which is like, okay, there's so many different versions. Like, there's this version of me making this YouTube video, and then there's a version of me who is like eating dinner right now, and there's this other version, like, just because I'm thinking about, the possibilities. It's like, what are the odds that, I could have been doing anything right now, going on a walk or doing anything, but yet here we are. Okay, so the few cards. The first one, you have the ability to meet your own needs. Second one, keep steady, stay patient, don't rush. Third, have you had enough pain? Fourth, reclaim your inner child. And the fifth one is, you're unforgettable. You are so unforgettable. And really almost have like all the colors here too. How beautiful to be so balanced. But let's see, the one that's standing out to me the most, have you had enough pain? It just makes me think of like being stuck in the stress response, being stuck in that fight or flight system, that side of the nervous system where we go to sleep at night and we're not actually getting rest. We're not getting deep restorative brainwave states in the brain. We're not having enough melatonin release, and we just wake up in this cycle of insulin resistance and feeling tired and like we never get sleep because we're missing out on our delta wave sleep state. You know what I'm saying? And have you had enough pain? Have you had enough pain to decide that you want to align more with Earth's heartbeat, with the natural rhythms and the light cycles of the Earth, which is closest to our state of peace and harmony in the nervous system and our biochemistry? And there's many ways to do that. And the number one way to do that is to always like connect with your light centers in the body, which is the mitochondria. So, like getting early sun exposure in the morning is helpful. Mitochondria love sunlight. Having a full amino and fatty acid breakfast. Mitochondria love amino and fatty acids. And excuse me, I just kind of burped. I just had to do it. It just had to come up. And like even meditation, Joe Dispenza talks about this, but like your mitochondria, all your cells, they love when you speak kind words to them. There is nothing they love more. It's like if you think about like your dog, like when you get so excited and you're talking to that dog and you're excited to see the dog and the dog's excited to see you, they've been waiting all day for you to come home, like their little tails wagging, they're so happy to see you. And that's like what the body is. That's what our immune system is. It just waits for us to come home. So patiently it waits for us to come home. It doesn't matter how long you've maybe neglected your own needs, your own physical needs. Like the body is always just waiting for you to come home, you know. And we can build more mitochondria. Again, coolest thing about mitochondria is that they hold their own DNA. So when we're having more action going on in the mitochondria, we can override our nuclear DNA, which is our genetics that is passed down from our parents. When you're focusing more on your mitochondria, more on your environment, this is epigenetics. This is means upon the gene. How can the environment influence the body? So for instance, if you are smelling mold, or someone, you know, like they don't smell good, right? Your body, like, I think of sour milk even. Your body jolts back because the body is so intelligent, so smart. It smells something that it doesn't like, and it's protecting you by giving you this nasty smell and, you know, making you cringe back and say, you know, it's not safe. Let's skip that to keep your distance. Stuff like that. So you want to definitely bet on the mitochondria to get more in line with the delta wave sleep state. So by the way, okay, mitochondria structure our water in our cells. So that's going to be the most important factor in becoming hydrated and staying hydrated. And some good people to follow for hydration stuff. Carrie B Wellness is one of my favorite people I've ever found, ever. I love her. And oh gosh, what is the name? Pollen. Is that the name? Oh, I don't know. I'm trying to think of these two books. Gerald Pollack. He talks about the chemistry, the biochemistry of structuring the water inside the cell. I know this video is getting a little bit dark. My phone keeps saying more light required. Of course, more light required. It's okay. Mitochondria produce the majority of the energy in the cell. They're the powerhouses of the cell. And because of that, they're emitting energy. They're releasing electrons into the environment of the cell. And they literally emit light. They cause the body to produce heat, you know? So they're super important for energy production. And the more light we expend, like when we go in the sunlight, we make the most melatonin in our bodies. When we exercise, when we're communicating with our mitochondria, we're making the most melatonin in our bodies, creating a sleep debt. And this is, of course, related to delta wave sleep state. Melatonin is. And don't forget your food, getting high amino and fatty acids, tryptophan, where melatonin originates from. So, and then speaking kind things to yourself. Okay, so anyway, just had to hit all the bases just in case you were new here and, you know, you missed out on some videos. I can't help but to mention all the factors that reflect and affect the mitochondria, because it's very important. Keep steady, stay patient, and don't rush. That's probably the most important thing on a daily basis. How do I enjoy this, you know? Don't rush. Like, your body, your immune system, your cells, they don't want you to be in your hurry. Like, they're your family, they're your babies. Like, your family doesn't want you to rush. They just want you to take your time and listen to what they need. You know, take your time. You have the ability to meet your own needs. You sure do. And you're unforgettable. Reclaim your inner child. When I think of inner child, you know, I think of the version of myself who's like 2 or 3 years old, of course. But then I also think of all of my children, my trillions of cells. I think of that picture right there because it's tattooed on my eye, it's tattooed in my heart, and I really just always think about it all the time, because I don't know, maybe you can call it an obsession, but it's just like I see the world and then I see the cell, and it just, they look so much alike to me, you know? And you're unforgettable. You shine so bright. You're like one of the brightest stars on the planet, you know? You're unforgettable. Yeah, you're just a drop in this ocean, but like, this drop is so important. Every single cell in the body is so important, you know? Every single cell contributes to the whole of the body, of the network, you know? They're all producing energy in some capacity, and they all make a difference. They're unforgettable. So anyway, I shall leave this here. I hope that you were able to get some inspiration or some sort of, you know, some sort of cell biology tidbits in, you can like, share, and subscribe if you want to support this channel in some way. But as always, I do wish you the best of luck. I shall catch you next time.